Ronald G. Wayne, born May 17, 1934, in the midst of the Great Depression. Jobs had this focus. Once he got an idea in his head, that was it. And you never wanted to be between him and where he wanted to go. You'd wind up with footprints on your forehead. This is the contract that I personally typed up. He regarded me as something of a minor mentor because I was somewhat more diplomatic than he was. There was a problem he was having at that time with Steve Wozniak. I said, bring him over to the house, we'll sit down, we'll chat. And it took me 45 minutes, certainly less than an hour, to get him to understand, no, you can't do it that way for a business enterprise. Okay, fine. He bought into it, he understood. And at that moment in time, Steve Jobs says, we are going to form a company. "12 days later, I went down to the registrar's office and had my name taken off the contract. If the company goes poof, we are individually liable for the debts of the company. Well, Jobs and Wozniak didn't have two nickels to rub together. I had a house, and a bank account, and a car, and I was reachable. Some months later, I get this letter in the mail with a check for $1,500. I believe it was $1,500. And the letter says, all you got to do is sign away every possible interest you could have in the Apple Computer Company, and the check is yours. Well, I figured that I had already done that. As far as I was concerned, it was found money, you know, so I went ahead and I signed.
I was surprised to learn that Steve Jobs was looking for a mentor. I wouldn't have thought him the type to be open to any sort of constructive criticism from what I have read of him. I agree. People must be fascinated by Steve Jobs and just what he was like.
Oh, of course,
man, yeah.
And should be. He was a fascinating man. Who made Apple what it was? Obviously, Jobs' technique. All right. Was Jobs a nice guy? In many ways, no. But that doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what did it take to make Apple what it was.
I think people will watch this and they'll say, surely, as Ron's about to go to sleep, he must often think of what could have been with Apple. I mean, do you?
I knew exactly what would have been if I'd have stayed with the company. I would have wound up heading a very large documentation department at the back of the building, shuffling papers for the next 20 years of my life, and that was not the future that I saw for myself. Find something that you enjoy doing so much that you'd be willing to do it for nothing, and you'll never work a day in your life.